Four teams meet knowing that this could be the start or the end of their playoff journey. The most determined will survive. Two rookie coaches, Lance Randall of Birmingham and Tony Garbaletto from Newcastle, match wits in the first game of the 2001 playoffs, which come from a neutral venue of the Coventry Sky Dome. The action has started. Let's get over to our commentators, Chris Finch and Daniel Routledge.
Just under 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. The Newcastle Eagles leading here by 19 points to 13 after that Ian White shot, but they've been dealt the blow by Tony Windlass leaving the game with a head injury, potential concussion on that. He may or may not be back later in the game. We shall wait and see. Paternostro diving to the ground as Berkovic came running out of it, Adam, and he will go to the line for 3.
And we see Tony Garbaletto countering here tactically for the short bench with the absence of Tony Windlass. He steps into his own, and unfortunately at that point they knocked down Paternostro on a 3-point shot. It's cardinal sin as a defender.
3 fouls in the game so far on the Eagles. All 3 of them have been called against Berkovic, and he's only been on the court for a couple of minutes. Paternostro converts from the line. Eagles leading it by 4. 90 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Berkovic looking for a way round. Gets it into the post, and Ian White, who fires over Garcia. Rebound, Donnie Johnson, back to Ian White. Great block. Good aggression from Danny Craven.
Excellent. Stood his ground, went up with the ball, swatted it out of bounds. Clean block. Good job by Donnie Johnson going to the offensive glass, though. Hasn't been too much there for Newcastle on the offensive glass.
It'll be an end-line ball, which Ogun Jimmy will inbound. Ellis, good feed to White. White this time knocks it off the glass.
Yeah, excellent feed inside.
Paternostro throws up a prayer, doesn't get answered. Rebound Ian White. Donnie Johnson brings it forward.
Wild shot selection by the...
That's an understatement. Ellis to White. Now Walker. Walker pulls up for 3. TJ Walker on straight. And the Eagles lead it by 9.
He's playing very well at the moment. He's playing well at both ends of the floor.
Bailey dancing through the middle lane. White with a quick hand up to own up to the foul.
Brent Bailey just doesn't look like himself. I mean, usually always attacking. Even on that, he's kind of bobbing and weaving before he's going to the bucket. He goes to the basket very hard. Very aggressive scorer.
Paternostro will back out, run down the final offense. Bailey to Craven.
Newcastle back in their zone.
Inside is Tete, traveling violation called against Miko Tete. One last chance then for the Eagles to open up a double-figure lead here at the end of this first quarter. Walker will run it down. Walker's still going. Walker gets the shot off, but it misses at the end of the first quarter. TJ Walker leads the Eagles with 9 points. They've done a great job here. They lead at the end of the first 15 points to 24. Well, perhaps the key factor in that first quarter was the Tony Windlass incident. He goes off, and yet the Newcastle Eagles still carry on and have a 9-point lead here.
Yeah, great job by Newcastle regroup, and they were a little bit ratty, and then Tony Garbaletto got a timeout, readdressed a few things, and since that timeout, midway through,
here's a look at it. You see Tony Windlass just hit the deck there. I think he ran into Brant Bailey more than anything else and just got a whack in the head. Now watch Windlass wearing 14. There he is, just collided with Bailey. Seemed innocuous, but he's really struggling with some believed concussion.
Yeah, and he didn't even get up off the bench. He's been sitting on the bench, hasn't really moved a whole lot. and it doesn't look like we'll see him at all, really.
Well, let's take a look at the statistics of this first quarter, and Birmingham's shooting really has been horrendous here.
Yeah, that's 5 for 17. You're not going to get it done with those kind of numbers.
Newcastle not shooting the ball spectacularly, but when the other team's shooting 29%, anything is good. And if we take a look at the second page, the rebounding here, well, not a great deal in it, really.
No, and I'm actually a bit disappointed on the offensive glass for both teams. I think there's more to be had there if they made the effort, but obviously both teams making an effort to get back and stop transition baskets instead.
And the final page here, the leadometer, you can see Newcastle, they blistered out with the opening 7 points of the first quarter and have never relinquished the lead, although Birmingham did close the gap momentarily.
They've been playing with a lot more purpose. They've executed well. Birmingham yet to hit a rhythm. Fit Scatty on offense all over the place.
There is Tony Windlass, and he's making his way back out onto the court, having sat down for the best part of about 8.5, 9 minutes in that first quarter. He's back out and ready to go. We're ready to go then with the second quarter. It'll be Danny Craven and Ian White to jump it up. And Ian White knocks it back to TJ Walker, and he'll bring it forward for the Newcastle Eagles.
And Birmingham jump into a little bit of zone of their own here to start the quarter, mixing it up. Both coaches recognizing the poor shooting that's going on and force people to knock down some perimeter stuff.
Ellis with a little floater along the baseline. Ball comes out to Virgil Coben running forward. Coben with a nice little stutter step. TJ Walker gets up high to block it, but Danny Craven with the stick back.
That was a fantastic athletic play by Walker. Unfortunately, his teammates couldn't cover. Look at this, coming from the weak side, gets a hand on it, but all that size by Birmingham pays off on the glass.
Ogun Jimmy for three, rims out right into the hands of Ian White. Danny Craven just caught him on the wrist as he tried to put the shot back up.
There, Tony's applauding the effort on the offensive glass. No one checks out Ian White as he goes right into his hand.
First foul of the game on Danny Craven. Ian White at the line. Eagles yet to miss from this distance. 7 of 7 as a team now.
Ian White's a fantastic free throw shooter for a 7-footer. Got a nice touch.
He's got a nice shooting action in general, which normally guys that big, they have funny looking actions.
Yeah, and he's very comfortable stepping away from the basket and shooting the ball. Actually, probably prefers it to the inside game.
Paternoster with that strange through the leg dribble. I saw him do that last week as well. Wasn't quite sure what purpose it served, but it looks okay. A Tete in the corner. The tip from Craven doesn't go. White trying to grab with it. So is Windlass. Windlass goes down and says it wasn't me. The referee says yes it was, and it'll be a Bullets ball.
Good to see Tony getting stuck right in there, regardless of getting any bumps on the head.
Just a damp patch, I think, on the floor. We're going to wipe up the perspiration before they inbound the ball. And now everything changes, and Coben will inbound. Coben up top. Looking for some help, gets to Atete, lobbed inside. Danny Craven is fouled by Ian White.
Nice lob pass inside. Good patience by Birmingham on that offense.
Foul 2, Ian White.
Ian White will go to the bench having picked up his second foul, but Timmy Berkovich, who picked up 3 in a hurry in the first quarter, comes back in.
The two fouls on White could play a big role. Birmingham have the ability to throw out some big bodies, if not all at the same time, then certainly one after another, and they could make this a war of attrition if they wanted to.
Danny Craven gets a nice bounce off the back of the ring. And rattle Randall's in on the second. That's Randall watching on his side, trailing here by 7.
Sitting in a 1-3-1 zone again.
Johnson finds a gap right in the middle, and Coburn and Craven combine to knock the ball out of bounds. Ella's will inbound for the Eagles to win it up top to TJ Walker. Berkovic for 3 short. Rebound Garcia finds Paternoster. Craven driving through, doesn't get anything to go, gets his own board though, still fighting away Danny Craven. TJ, whoa, great play, tipped it right past both of them, took off and laid it in. Couldn't get the dribble, but managed to tip it past.
Yeah, heads up play, had the momentum going down court, just got enough of the ball to knock it over Paternoster's head. Danny Craven so far, his size has really bothered Newcastle inside, particularly on the boards, but also in the post-up like this.
There he is, right on the money. He was backing in. He wants to go one-on-one with Donnie Johnson.
Yeah, he's playing well. He's all fired up. Usually they go to Garcia down inside, but they're going to him. Well, they've hit him on a cut. He's got some work done on the boards, and now you just see him hitting him on post-up.
TJ Walker for 3. Oh, string again for TJ Walker. 2 of 2 from deep. 14 points in the lead, all scored.
That's very deep, but he just hit one from there. You got to get out. You got to get a hand on the guy, especially when you're shorter.
Coburn to reply, and does from behind the arc with a 3 of his own.
Starting to heat up a little bit, Daniels. These teams start to feel confident knocking down the perimeter shots, and these coaches will decide to jump out of this zone.
Johnson penetrates. Oh, through it. Good hands from Danny Craven. Now Ellis in the corner. Shot clock ticking out. Berkovic with the rearranged shot off the back of the ring. Rebound Donnie Johnson. That's an awful shot, but he gets his own boards. Finds Berkovic. Now they get a chance to reset. Winless, short, and eventually Garcia gets the defensive ball. And Paternoster takes it to the hole, draws the foul, and we'll go to the line for and 1.
Just gave a little stutter step juke in the half court, and a one-handed layup. Not by any means fundamentally sound, but effective.
Now Ian White checks back into the game. I think Walker will go to the bench.
I think Timmy Berkovic is also coming out. He's definitely struggling. You can see he just doesn't have a lift for his shot. A little bit rusty still. He gave up an open 3, which we did knock down a couple of months ago, but he took it inside for a coverage shot. So they're going to need him to get involved.
And with a back problem, it takes away so much from your game. Your shooting, your lateral defensive movements.
Your overall timing is just messed up on your jumping and your...
Winless going strong to the basket. Doesn't quite bounce for Tony Winless, but he draws the foul from Brant Bailey, his first.
And I'll tell you what, that's really been missing so far from the Newcastle offense, is the slashing and finishing. Donnie Johnson's done a pretty good job of flashing and shooting, but he's taking some covered shots. They haven't gotten all the way to the rim yet. Tony Winless can certainly do that. He's a great baseline operator.
Yorick Williams checking back in. Rob Paternostro sitting down. Winless off the mark on the free throw. What do you make of Tony Winless in these 4 minutes that he's come back, having sustained that knock in the first quarter?
Oh, it seems fine. I mean, this is his first points of the game, obviously, but he's thrown himself around. He's been on the deck 3 or 4 times already. He's a warrior. He's been around. He knows what it takes to win.
Williams skips around to Garcia, back out to Williams for 3. The quick release 3 from Yorick Williams doesn't go. Ogun Jimmy crashing down. Brant Bailey touched it last. So it'll be a Eagles ball.
And there's a story. 2 points so far in the game from Brant Bailey.
And as Robbie Pears always likes to point out, he does tend to get a lot of his points early in the game.
He does. He's a quick starter. Very aggressive scorer, aggressive, but you know he's much more effective against the man than he is against his own.
Hogan Jimmy for three. The tip doesn't quite go, but it's Tony Windlass in there again, fighting for it. Bailey with the board. Williams looking for some help. He has only Craven ahead of him, so he goes back. Bailey at the foul line, looking to attack. That's more like it from Brant Bailey.
Yeah, that's vintage Brant Bailey from what we've seen this season. You know, pump fake, put it on the deck, finish.
Johnson for three. Donnie Johnson's three off the back of the ring, and they seem now to be looking to take the outside shot at every opportunity.
They're still settling for covered shots, too much for my liking at the moment.
Williams through the middle, misses the tip in though from Antonio Garcia, and what was a 10-point lead is down to just 2.
Yeah, nice follow. Now we're starting to see, Daniel, a little bit more of what Birmingham do as players. Garcia, we've got Williams going to the hoop. We got Garcia putting on the offensive glass.
That was just confirmation of what we were just saying. We're taking some bad shooting options. That is more what Newcastle.
Yeah, they're just not getting to the bucket enough. They're having chances, but I think they're settling for that tough 8-10-foot shot that's covered.
There's about 3 minutes between scores there for the Newcastle Eagles, which has seen closing it back, the Bullets. Bailey a little bit short, stuck back in by Danny Craven.
I'll tell you what, Danny Craven's playing real well early. He's causing all kinds of problems.
Danny Craven, of course, a championship winner last year with the Manchester Giants, looking to go back again this year with the team they beat in the final last year, the Birmingham Bullets. The three from Walker doesn't quite go. Tony Windlass, I think, might have caught from behind Coben. 3:50 to go. After this foul by Tony Windlass, which was clumsy if nothing else, the Newcastle Eagles lead is down to just 2. Timeout for Tony Garboletto. Let's hear it.
We said if we were going to attack the zone, we would attack inside out. The first thing we got to do, though, is we got to get some structure out there. TJ at the point. Brian Eller's in the corner. Steve here. Okay, Steve's out, so it's Tony Windlass here. Okay? Donnie in the high post, Ian in the low. So we can feed low, we can be here, we can swing opposite. We got Brian running the baseline. Whenever we want. But let's not take the first one. Let's get some penetration and kick. Penetration, kick. Okay, this is easy, guys. Shoot the zone out, attack it, and beat it inside. Come on now.
Well, that stat won't be what Tony would want to see. 23% here in the second quarter.
Mostly the result of the 1-3-1 zone by Birmingham, and he spent the whole time out trying to solve it. He wants him to go inside. I think that you got to attack the 1-3-1 along the baseline. You're going to outnumber him as soon as you put 2 guys down there. Draw the defense down, then kick back out for your penetration and your jump shot. Yet they haven't done that. They've settled for passing around the perimeter.
Here's Bailey up top for the Bullets. Dishes out to Danny Craven. Coben up top. Shot clock down to 6. Bailey's got to look to go now. Shot clock ticking down still. Bailey does get the shot off. Rims out, tipped in. No, not quite. Battling for it underneath is Ian White. He pulls it away. Here comes Walker to Ellers. Ellers, good stand, but was he there in time? No, he wasn't. Virgil Coben, and you can see Lance Randall's reaction there. Virgil Coben not there in time. Blocking foul called on him.
Yeah, that's definitely a block. It's definitely a block. His feet are moving across the lane there.
I don't know. That was close anyway.
In my mind, you got to have both feet there, set, ready to play the defense. Only for a split second, but he was still moving his second foot in.
Lance Randall pacing up and down the sidelines, has a wry grin on his face because he didn't agree with that last call. And Ellers makes them both. He's got 4 from the line, 4 of 4, as you would expect of a shooter of his quality, 9 in total. And their points are coming mainly from their guards here early on. Williams lobs it round to Craven.
Nice pass.
Bailey waited for it, then got the shot up. The tip didn't go from Garcia, and eventually Donnie Johnson came up with it. Thrown right out of bounds, so the Birmingham Bullets will get it back.
Newcastle back into their zone. Nope, sorry, man-to-man.
Lobbed it, good lob in from Garcia to Craven. And Danny Craven is absolutely disgusted with himself that he didn't make that lane, having got the inside play.
But he drew the third foul on Ian White, and so far Danny Craven is owning the inside. Nice pass by Garcia on the high-low. Silly foul by White. You got to let him have that. 4-point lead. You got 2 fouls. You're beat. You need to let him have that. That's what Tony will be telling him right now on the sidelines.
There he is, tying in probably exactly that, as Danny Craven at the other end fires up the first free throw and knocks it out.
Now I'm going to say something that seems a little bit crazy here, Daniel, but even though Newcastle's small and Birmingham will still sit in the zone and they'll have trouble keeping Craven off the offensive glass, I think the smaller, quicker lineup will get the zone a bit of trouble if they stay active in it and then they go to the offensive boards themselves.
Danny Craven, with all 10 of his points in the game here, in the second quarter, he leads his team in scoring. The only man in Birmingham on double figures. Ellers for 3 doesn't go. Might come all the way out to Ogun Jimmy. No, Coburn will get there first. Coburn, blocked by Ogun Jimmy, but fouled at the same time.
Good job by Coburn, pushing. And Ogun Jimmy left with no choice but to foul him here. Good hard foul. Make sure you don't get the and one.
But it will send Virgil to the line for a couple, with a chance to yet again tie the game. He runs out on the first, though.
Newcastle's going to have to solve Lance Randall's 1-3-1 zone. At the moment, it is working magic for him.
It's a 1-point ball game.
It's also allowing him to rebound easy and get out for some transition baskets we just saw there.
Wins. Good ball movement. Now Ogun Jimmy attacks inside. Ellers tips it out. Garcia throws it long. Williams back to Coburn. Coburn with the left. Good heads-up pass from Yorick Williams. Gives Birmingham the lead for the first time in the game.
And that's what we're talking about.
Stolen away by Danny Craven. Here come the Bullets again with Williams. Has Bailey with him. Turns around to Coburn, but there's Windlass to rip it loose. Good defense from Tony Windlass. Walker. Wrap-around pass to Donnie Johnson for the stop.
Great transition basketball there. Good job by Craven going one way. Great job by Windlass.
Williams can't get the shot to go. Donnie Johnson with the save. Here comes Ogun Jimmy, throws it the length of the court. Ellers, good head fake. Ellers takes it to the basket and draws the foul from Brad Bailey.
Yeah, he had Windlass wide open under the hoop. Couldn't get it to him. Faked him, drove around him. Just attacks real strong. Bailey's left with not a chance.
Yeah, once the same as we said earlier, it was Ellers last time. Once you're in the air, it always gives the offensive player a chance to draw the foul, which is exactly what Ellers did. It's a 1-point Newcastle lead, 1:11 to go, and Lance Randall has called a timeout, but he must be relatively pleased the way his team has come out and played here in this second quarter.
Yeah, they're playing great in the zone. They're covering every shot. They're rebounding real well out of it, and they're running. And they're starting to get some easy stuff offensively. And both teams are playing very similar basketball, though. You know, struggling a little bit down from the perimeter, sitting in his zone, been a bit patchy. But this is what we expected in a 1-point margin.
Well, here's the shooting stats in the game so far. Nothing to write home about, but even, and that's the bottom line, and that's why we're only a point to go. So, I mean, a lot of people have said in the past about these Coventry, the sight lines and these tight rings and all this stuff, but none of that really matters if you, I mean, the basket's still the same size, it's still 10 feet up in the air. Surely at some stage somebody's got to work this court out and be able to shoot at 50%.
Well, no one talks about that after they win, Daniel. They only talk about that after you lose. But no, it's just a venue that you know, it has real tight rings, and people don't play here very often, and it just seems to have some curse about it when it comes to shooting.
Well, we do have the league's top shooters in the house in the next game, so we'll see if they can match their 52% season average. Tony Gorbalet screaming for a foul on the sidelines. He didn't get one. And good hands from Donnie Johnson. It touched a Birmingham player last. Miko Etete it was. Donnie Johnson just got a fingertip on it. And you can see both coaches now very animated on the sidelines. Walker for three. Yes, TJ Walker, all string again, 3 of 4. He has 17 points.
He's not worried about any curses, Daniel, but that's the third uncontested three that he's gotten.
Garcia to Etete, and Etete is clubbed from behind from Steve Ogunjimi.
Nice interior play there. Garcia's an excellent passer, sees the ball well. He's got such long arms, he can pass over and around taller defenders.
Etete off the back of the ring with the first.
I want to pick up on this point of shooting here. You know, yes, it is a different venue. Yes, the rims are tight, but let's not forget every time we play here, there's a lot at stake. They're knockout games, and I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, the pressure of the occasion often will take a couple of percent off any good shooter. Ogunjimi for three. Nope, that was way off the mark. We were right behind it. You could see it wasn't going in. Ehlers fires up short. Away come the bullets with Coburn firing it long to Paternoster. He's blocked by Ehlers. Who did that touch last? Referee has a look to his co-colleague.
I think Dale Aitchison on the baseline there made a meal out of that one. I thought there was a foul in transition, and then I felt that was off Birmingham.
Paternostro for three, knocks it out. Rob Paternostro levels the game at 41. The final shot from Walker is short. Newcastle came out hot, but the Bullets have come back. We are level at the interval.
These two teams split the series during the season, with each team that was down at the half won the game. Nobody's leading this one. It should be an exciting second half coming up. Bring it back. We'll be right here.
They said they'd do anything for a huge cash prize. Are you quitting? 16 ordinary civilians come face to face with 4 real-life drill instructors.
Kiss your wife right now. Kiss her. Bye, hon. Hi, I'm his new pal.
28 days in hell.
A balloon sculptor?
Yes, sir.
Get out of my face! Ah!
Survive this.
Shut up!
Nobody said smile.
The new series, Boot Camp, starts Tuesday at 8 on Sky One.
Yours has gone. No, it hasn't. Yes, it has. Show me.
No, you show me.
Show me. Together, after 3. 1, 2, 3. You're not singing anymore. You're not singing anymore.
Smarties Giants. They are big and they are clever.
Brad Pitt, Julia Roberts. It's about love.
You don't want to get married.
Adventure. And friendship. Is it your ball? The Mexican.
With AOL, we'll give you the opportunity to enter a whole new world.
So now you can do what you really want to, whenever you want to do it. And we'll even help make sure your kids don't get to see anything you don't want them to see. Only what you do.
Welcome to AOL. Call 0800 237 237 to be part of it.
We're in the first game of the BBL Championship playoffs, and at the half, the Birmingham Bullets and the Newcastle Eagles are even Stevens, and here's some of the first half replays. The story of the first quarter for Birmingham was missed layups and turnovers. Then we had the big injury to Winless, but it didn't stop the flow of the Eagles as they led by 9 at the end of the first. But the question would be when Winless, when he would come back, would he compete? And there's no doubt the Eagles led 32-26 at this stage. Danny Craven draws a foul, a big third one on White. Craven's had 10 points in the second quarter. Defensive player of the game here so far. Winless comes up with a save. Walker gets the steal. He draws the defender, lays it off to Johnson. Eagles by 1, but at the half, it's a tied basketball game. Joining me also, and Chris, Nick Nurse, coach of the London Towers. Good first half, but who would you say was the star of the first half?
Well, I think it's kind of unsung guys. Danny Craven comes off the bench, gets 10 points. I was just telling Chris, him and Ronnie Baker are the only 2 guys in the league that are trying to repeat and get a Wembley trophy. So Danny's come to play today. He's been the star for Birmingham, that's for sure.
They put Winless back in the game, but good or bad for the team?
Well, I think it's good because of the foul trouble. He had to have a body come in there, but if they've never had a real flow since he's come back.
Okay, for Winless, there's no points, no boards, no anything right now. But we look at the match facts. You know, if you're the losing coach, this says what? So you guys, there's no losing coach. If you're Newcastle, this says what to you at halftime?
Well, obviously the game, 15 three-pointers may be a bit too much. I think you can see both teams are packing it in from the zone, and right now Birmingham's size just enabled them to get enough second-chance putbacks. Craven, Garcia, Amiko Atete down in there. Let's go inside. You heard Tony Garboletto say, let's go inside first, then outside.
And Newcastle had a 10-point lead in the first half. Looking at the second page, Chris, Lance Randall, what would you take out of that page?
Well, I like the rebound stat because it's leading to transition stuff out of the zone. That's when they're getting some easy stuff right away. And obviously you got to like the bench scoring. Mostly that's Craven.
And you have here with Birmingham, 11 offensive rebounds. They average 16 a game for the season, so they're exceeding that at the rate they're at now. You had Newcastle control the game. Had a little glitch there for the Bullets, but at halftime, you have it evens. You look at the scores, but again, you have to look at the guys that aren't there. Winless is, not on the board. But also for Newcastle, one of their problems is the 2 guys, Ogajimi, Berkovich, are 0 for 7 from the field. So Winless goes down, you get nothing from the bench versus you got Cravens giving you 10 points, Paternastro giving you 9 points. That's a lot of points off the bench versus nothing on the other end, Nick.
That's exactly right. TJ Walker's at his season's average already there in the first half almost, and he is actually carrying them. I think the mindset for Birmingham, they have to realize that Tony Winless, one of Newcastle stars, is virtually out of this game. They've got a golden opportunity here, and they need to seize it.
Let's look ahead. If this game is tight, down the stretch, the last 2 minutes, which one of these coaches do you go with and why?
Well, I'm going to go with Newcastle. They just execute so well, and that's what got them the lead early on. The zone has certainly hurt them. Great move by Lance Randall going to the zone because they can't run their set stuff.
What about you, Nick?
Well, I think Tony Garboletto's been a little bit further. He's been to a trophy final this year. He's got just a touch more experience. Both rookie coaches, if it goes down to the tight ones, I think you got to lean to who's got the better, more experienced players. It's a toss-up. Winless was the experienced guy, but he's iffy right now.
Okay, thanks for that. Now, this week's stories and Sue's news are cheerful, dreadful, intense, and worth having a pen and paper ready for.
Having led Milton Keynes to the most successful season ever, Nigel Lloyd has re-signed as player coach for next year. After failing to make the playoffs, Manchester Giants play caller Andre Lane will not be returning to coach the team next season. Another coaching casualty is Brighton Bears' Mark Dunning. He leaves the club after a disappointing 18 months in charge. Edinburgh's franchise player Ted Berry has agreed to return for his 4th consecutive year with the Rocks. And now details of the Sky Sports end-of-season competition. For the chance to win a basketball signed by all Sky Sports MVPs, all you have to do is answer this simple question. Whose scoring record did Sheffield's Peter Scantlebury break this season when he passed the 8,945 points barrier? Was it A, Tony Dorsey, B, Russ Saunders, or C, Alan Cunningham? 3 lucky winners will receive an official BBL basketball signed by all the MVPs on Sky this season. All you have to do is send your answer on a postcard along with your name, address and phone number. 2. Basketball competition, Sky Sports, Grantway, Isleworth, Middlesex, TW7 5QD, or email us at basketball@bskyb.com. All entries must be received by Tuesday, May the 1st.
Versus Newcastle this season, Birmingham's Brant Bailey averaged a whopping 31 points per game. Today, he has only 4, and his Bullets are level at the half. Second half action is next.
Sky Box Office this April is all about trust.
Come on, everyone, watch!
Trust in a dream.
You're not going to believe this.
Trust in your own eyes. Trust in your faith.
I hear you!
And trust in your gun.
You want to see some action?
Trust in a vision.
Seeing is believing.
And trust in yourself.
I'm not leaving here without a job.
I can't believe it.
You'll like it on Sky Box Office. Trust us.
Leave the road behind, not the luxury. The RX 300, the 4x4 from Lexus.
Record Quick Vice does everything a vice can, anywhere you want. Record Quick Vice. Where will you use yours?
Cadbury's Miniature Heroes.
This is round 1 of the road to the Wembley Championships. The Coventry Sky Dome is the arena. Our commentators for the second half action, Chris Finch and Daniel Routledge.
Thank you very much, Kevin. 41-41. Fans in the house behind the benches for the two teams, making some noise. It's win in advance or lose and go home. All or nothing. Atete, round to Williams. Here's Garcia up top. Hands over to Kobe. Walker just got a hand in there. Shot clock ticking down, and Garcia turns it over. I think it was a carrying violation he was called for. Here's Windlass attacking the basket, a little bit short, going after his own board. Coburn hits the deck, gets it away though. Here's Williams leading the break.
Look for Newcastle to run a bit more here, Daniel. If they're going to continue to sit in that zone, Birmingham going to have to get some easy baskets somewhere. Transition's usually a place to find them.
Brant Bailey going to the basket and laying it in.
They're going to need to get him going. Kevin made a great point. 31 points in the games this year on average. Only, now that's 6 right there.
Johnson double team. Throws it away. Oh, just caught by Tony Windlass. Shot clock ticking down. They've got to get one off pretty soon. Still got to shoot it. Windlass with the head fake. Don't think he's going to get it off in time. Didn't matter. He didn't hit the ring anyway. And it's a 24-second violation.
I don't like Newcastle's movement. They don't have enough movement against the zone. They could send guards through. They can move people around. You got to make that zone turn its head, look for people, get people on the baseline.
Lobbed inside to Bailey, and Bailey, 2 plays in a row at the basket. That's more like it.
Well, Lance Reynolds obviously addressed the issue. We need to get one of our scorers going, and they've called his number twice early.
In the corner is Brian Ellis, shot rims out. Tony Windlass with the offensive board and the stick back. That didn't go, though. There's Ian White fighting for it. 3rd attempt for the Eagles. Oh, gap opens up in front of him. He airballs and falls in the hands of Kobe. Bailey in the corner for 3. Brad Bailey with the hot hand here at the start.
Hey, this is much more like
quarter. There you go. That says it all.
It's much more like him, isn't it? He's been aggressive. He's taking shots. He's taking shots that he's been taking all year.
Suddenly, from 7 points here in this quarter, he's up to 11. Walker's 3 doesn't go. Rebound Garcia. Here comes Williams to Coben. Bailey was calling for it again in the corner, but this time they didn't go that way.
Deep threes are not going to get it done on the offensive end.
Bailey backing in on Windlass, forced to throw it round to Williams for 3. Garcia's in there clearing out, and I think he might have been doing so illegally, and the pushing foul is called on him. In fact, I think they've given it against Miko Atete, who was also in there. His first.
The Eagles' first foul, Atete.
White. 8 shots in a row now the Newcastle Eagles have missed. Walker attacks the basket. Good pass, good pass.
And finally, somebody going to the basket. There's all kinds of gaps in the 1-3-1 zone. You got to move the ball a little bit quicker, though.
Not only that, but you've got Tony Windlass and Donnie Johnson running along the baseline, which is where the gaps are.
Your 2 best finishers in traffic.
Atete looking for it somewhere, finds Garcia, gets it back again, and Miko Atete with the open jumper off the glass. Ellis to Windlass, going through the middle, and the foul is called.
And they get that basket simply because Walker does a great job of pushing the ball up the floor before the zone can get set. Hey, there's 3 ways you beat a zone. You beat it down the floor, you beat it on ball reversal, and finally you beat it up off the glass. And they chose the first option.
Number 2 on Garcia. Johnson off the back of the ring. Rebound Donnie Johnson again, and he puts it back. 10 points for him. Garcia backing in. Nowhere to go. Finds Atete from 20 feet. A little bit short. Donnie Johnson with the board. Walker kicks it quickly to Ellis. It's through his hands. Can he chase it down? Yes, he can. But he can only save it to Brant Bailey. Oh, Bailey loses it off his own leg. And coming back is TJ Walker. Donnie Johnson fakes the 3, pulls up at the foul line. Garcia with an easy board. There's a turnover situation in the game, a lot of them mounting up. And Newcastle sensibly, I think, is slowing it down.
Yeah, Donnie Johnson's taking some tough shots tonight, some off-balance leaners with people hanging on him.
Ellis. Inside to Johnson, gets it to White. Shot clock running down. Got to shoot it. Walker's got to get it off. Doesn't get it to go. And he was right in front of the basket. Missed it.
I think he had an idea that the shot clock was running down. He just panicked and flipped it up there a bit. The game's at a very interesting point, Daniel. You know, both teams are kind of going back and forth at the moment. Birmingham's got the lead here, 5-point lead. And if they can just, whoever gets a hold of this game tempo-wise right now and play some smart basketball in the next few minutes, is going to be able to control through the 4th period.
Bailey inside draws the foul. I think it was Berkovich coming around from the weak side, count the basket. And if it is Timmy Berkovich, it's his 4th. It is. Foul number 4. And he's only played 5 minutes.
Yeah, he's certainly struggling from a couple weeks off, and the back injury combination's been lethal for him and the Newcastle Eagles.
Coach Tony Garboletto going to leave him there for the minute, though. No movement on the benches yet. Fall away shot doesn't go. Good elevation by Walker to knock it loose, and Ellers puts it back.
Good finish there by Ellers up on the glass. Got the guy in the air. Nice touch.
Bailey. Lobbed inside. Brant Bailey draws the foul and will go to the line here again. And having had a really, really quiet first half, Brant Bailey has come to life here in the third.
He's very active along the baseline in that zone, and he's finding gaps, and they're throwing right over top of the back line of Newcastle. Lowney and White in there, they're pretty small. Tony may want to think about going man-to-man rather than sitting in that zone.
Bailey with 10 of his 14 points here in this quarter. The team has only scored 12. And Tony winless. I thought he might have got a touch on that, in which case that would be worth 2, which is what Lance Randall is saying to the table. And it did look like Winless got a little touch on it, so it should have been worth 2 points. But the referee said it was only worth 1. Here's Winless inside and lays it in. And the referees are going to confer about this now, because it did look as if Tony Winless was tipped it. If Winless tipped it, it's worth 2. I think that's what they've said. Tony Winless tipped it on the last free throw, so that will be 2 points for the Birmingham Bullets, because it's a basket. Once it's tipped in, it's an own basket, if you like.
I thought that was only if it was out of the cylinder when you tipped it.
No, it's any touching of the ball. If it goes in afterwards, Bailey for 3! And Tony Garboletto is livid on the sideline. He's trying to get a timeout. He feels really hard done by on the last one. Donnie Johnson to reply for 3, short. Rebound DJ Walker. He'll try for 3. That's no good. Rebound Winless. The tip eventually from Donnie Johnson. Still Tony Garboletto trying to get his timeout, but you can't get it on your own score.
Newcastle's quickness on the offensive board is paying off right now. It's about the only thing they got going for them.
Skip pass round to Virgil Coburn. Garcia to Coburn for 3. Short. Winless rising up high over the back as Tete goes out of bounds, and Tony Garboletto will now get his timeout. I think he's going to use it to talk to the officials after this incident here at the Brant Bailey free throw. It was the second free throw. He's asking the referee to come to him because he has a real problem with the last one. Didn't get the one official, so he goes to the other to argue the case. And you can see he's basically saying I should at least get consulted in this, but he never had.
Yeah, it's very
Here's another look at it. Now watch. Brant Bailey fires up the free throw. Now watch Tony Winless, 14. He jumps up. He touches the ball, just nicks the ball. Now once you nick the ball therefore becomes live. And if it goes in, it's an own basket. There you go. Just nicked it. It's an own basket. It's worth 2.
I think what Tony's upset about is, first of all, for the call, and then the referees won't come, they won't explain to him, because, you know, in a play like that, you want the refs to be right on top of it, make it right away, rather than having, you know, time elapse and go to the table. And as a coach, you just get upset.
I think, to be honest with you, the real problem was that it wasn't called straight away, as you said. They come down, run another play. They run the play. There's a slight stop. Referee says yes, and then they carry on. Nobody explains it to him.
Yeah, it's very frustrating because, you know, maybe Tony didn't see it, and obviously the referees weren't 100% sure at the time.
I think it was the right call, but now it was too late to explain it to him. They should have made it earlier on, but there you go. He's still having a chat with the referee. I think his only problem there, the point he's making there, is still the one that he wants consultation just on it.
Yeah, definitely. You know, explain it. Now Tony needs to focus, he needs to calm down and forget about it now. He needs to get his team, you know, back in the game.
Ogun Jimmy out to Ellers. Here's Ogun Jimmy again. Ella's in the corner for 3, short. Rebound, Danny Craven. And away come the Bullets. 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. The Birmingham Bullets leading here by 7. Newcastle, the bookmakers' favorites, but by only a point.
Newcastle still in their zone.
Ball comes out to Bailey. He's got to get the shot off going along the baseline. Reverse layup doesn't go. Here come the Eagles with Walker and Ogun Jimmy. Ogun Jimmy to the basket, misses it, but there's TJ Walker following up.
That's great hustle by TJ Walker. He made that play on both ends.
TJ Walker leading all scorers with 21 points. Bailey back to Garcia. Good ball movement to Paternostro for 3, short. Garcia's there, can only tip it out of bounds.
Good job by Brian Ellis. He just got a hold of his legs and just didn't let him jump.
Ogun Jimmy for 3, rims out. And Steve Ogun Jimmy is 0 for 6 shooting now. Bailey along the baseline. Here's a man who started to light it up with 15 third quarter points. There are still 2 minutes to go in the period.
It just looks totally different. Just have much more aggressive going to the basket.
Ehlers gets it out to Ogun Jimmy. Still can't get a shot to go. And TJ Walker is called for the foul.
And that's not a bad foul because that stops potential transition basket.
Blocking foul, TJ Walker, foul 2.
Foul number 2 on Walker.
And now the final 9 seconds, third quarter.
Garcia out to Paternostro for 3. That one doesn't go. The tip, though, from Brant Bailey again.
They're just too big. One of the weaknesses of the zone is boxing out. And when you're giving up size and position, you're not going to be too happy with the result.
Walker to Ogun Jimmy for 3 again. Steve Ogun Jimmy finally gets a shot to go after missing 7.
Finally, they got to have that shot. They've got to knock that down. If they're going to continue to take it, and Birmingham are giving it to him, he's going to have to knock it down.
Paternostro for 3 off the back of the ring. Rebound, Tony Winless, and he's grabbed by Rob Paternostro. And that will be a foul against him, his first.
Holding foul, Paternostro. Timeout call.
Less than a minute to go here in the third quarter. The Bullets leading it by 6. Lance Randall has called a timeout.
Felt that Birmingham a little bit fortunate there not to get an intentional because that was an all-out grab. That wasn't a play on the ball or anything.
All right. Yeah, let's run offensively. Let's run Kansas post against this and just not worry about interchanges so much. 4 out, 1 in. That means, Brant, you start low. Basically still doing the same thing, running baseline to baseline. You got Rob, York, and no, hang on, scratch that. Let's just run straight Carolina right now with Brant running the baseline, U2X and back and forth. Attack, look to get the ball. Antonio, come meet passes because they're getting really aggressive on us, all right? Defensively, Brant, you got to wing until he bumps you down, but you got to take, when the ball's on the weak side, your guy is the post right here because this baseline guy's got to cover the corner. You got to sink a little further. See it, all right? Let's go.
Well, coming back out of that timeout, Brant Bailey with a stunning here third quarter, 17 of his 21 points coming here in the period. But if we look at the Newcastle Eagles the other way and we look across our stats, only TJ Walker is doing what he should do or better. He's doing better than his season average. Everybody else on the Newcastle side, their numbers are down.
Yeah, well, got a lot of rookie players, got a lot of young players. Tony Winless, the experienced guy, got knocked out in the game early. He didn't really get a chance to get in the flow. He's He's played well, but he hasn't really produced on the board.
That was a terrible lob in. Bailey going to the basket will draw a foul. Bodies fly. Ogun Jimmy hits the deck and Walker hits the deck, but both are pretty quick back to their feet.
TJ Walker called for the foul.
Good job attacking the basket hard. He's going to come up with either the 2 points or the foul.
TJ Walker picks up foul number 3, and as we just said, he's the one that's really carrying his team in this game. There's the foul trouble in the game. You can see it's all against the Eagles.
And that's really the result of the zone for Birmingham. I mean, they're settling for outside shots and not really attacking the basket, not putting them in a position where they're forced to foul you.
Windlass on the far side. Johnson. Nowhere to go. Finds TJ Walker. Gets it back to Donnie Johnson with a little 8-foot jumper in the paint.
Yeah, good job of driving and finding the open guy, and that's what they're going to have to do. When they drive from the wing area, the baseline corner area, there are cutters open.
Walker throws it all the way back to Paternostro, tries to fire up a prayer on the buzzer, but it doesn't go. Brant Bailey has been stunning here in the third quarter for the Bullets. He's got 18 in this period. The Bullets lead it by 5. We'll be right back.
This is the Vauxhall Saphira. Thanks to Flex 7 technology, it has 39 different seat combinations. Number 1, 7 seats. Combination number 2, 23, 38. No, I've done that one. There's one more in here somewhere. Kimberly, where are you?
Vauxhall, raising the standard.
Squares?
New Walker's Squares. They're walkers in disguise.
With 7 seats and air conditioning as standard, the Vauxhall Saphira Club 1.6 is available from just £12,995.
Welcome back to the Sky Dome. We're in round 1 of the playoffs. The Birmingham Bullets lead the Newcastle Eagles 63-58, and really shooting 34%. Eagles are lucky not to be further back in this game.
Yeah, definitely. You know, Brant Bailey's single-handedly up the shooting percentage from Birmingham.
And we look at the rebounding. The Eagles are doing better on the boards, but when you miss so many shots, there are more boards to be had.
Yeah, they need to convert more offensive rebounds into points.
And there's the leadometer. You can see Newcastle led virtually exclusively in the first half, but Brant Bailey dragged the Bullets back in the third to take the lead, and Bailey wins the tip. Paternostro keeps it in bounds, and the Bullets will have the first offense, and here comes Rob Paternostro at speed. Garcia tried the quick release pass. He thought Bailey was going along the baseline. He wasn't.
Yeah, it's a good look. Brant Bailey knew that he should have been cutting there. He got caught dead. He probably thought Garcia was going to finish.
20 turnovers in the game.
I think it's real important for Newcastle's effort here that they start to solve this thing. I don't think they can afford to be down by, similar margin inside the last 4 or 5 minutes against this zone. They've got to start to chip away and solve it now. Force them to think about changing their defense.
Walker along the baseline, nowhere to go. Rebound Ian White, and Yorick Williams is called for the foul. And scouting from the sideline, the London Leopards coach Bob Dunawald. These two teams battling out for a place against his Leopards on Monday with his owner there next to him, Ed Simons. Of course, we saw them play Birmingham and beat Birmingham short-handed last week. And they've had some classic quarterfinal encounters with the Eagles this year, so it'll be a great matchup whichever of these two teams get through. Williams in the corner for 3 off the back of the ring. Garcia will chase it down. Lobbed into Danny Craven. He misses. Tipped up in the air. Danny Craven gets it back. He's blocked by Ian White, who's committed the foul, because if it is, it's his 4th.
And And Danny Craven would just outworked Ian White along the baseline there. He just beat him to the spot on the cut, beat him to the shot, off the boards.
And that is the 4th personal foul right there on Ian White. He'll go to the bench.
Most 7-footers don't have to box out, although as a coach it drives you nuts. But when you're guarding a guy who's 6'10", you still got to box out.
Danny Craven off the back of the ring. And that'll come all the way back out to Danny Craven. And the Bullets will keep possession. Paternostro for 3, way off the mark, but Yorick Williams gets the board. Yorick Williams had a little bit too much on the lob. And there's Billy Mims, head coach of the Leicester Riders, who play Milton Keynes Lions. At 8 p.m., we're 1 channel up, Sky Digital, Sky Sports Extra for that one. Round 1, second game. Garcia with the steal. Here comes Paternostro, and Berkovic was the only man there, so he had to leave him. And the Birmingham Bullets now edging away. Another points off turnovers, and there's another turnover by the Newcastle Eagles. And the Birmingham Bullets here have the momentum and the lead and the ball here, Chris.
Yeah, and we said coming out of the quarter break, it's important that they solve in the next 3 minutes this zone. If they don't, I don't see them coming back inside the last 5.
Danny Craven gets it to Coben. Inside Danny Craven, a little bit too strong. TJ Walker did the hard work. Now he gets the ball back from Berkovic to Johnson. Johnson stumbling through the middle, gets fouled, and 1 for Donnie Johnson.
And that could be a very big play. It's an easy basket, it's a momentum play. They get the bonus. Could cut the lead to 4 here. Both teams really sitting in a zone at the moment. Not a whole lot going on in the game, except for some occasional breaks, almost like watching a soccer game, a football game, and people are scoring on the counter exclusively. I hope nobody from the NBA is here watching this with the new rule changes they've made this week.
Donnie Johnson makes the first. And we were just saying that they looked a bit out of sorts, but they're still only 4 points down here at the Newcastle League. It's a bit of up-court pressure here.
But isn't it a mirror image of the first when Birmingham looked out of sorts, and they've come back? And that's playoff basketball. You know, both teams are just doing whatever they have to take. It gets a bit ugly at times, and
foul called before the shot. Didn't see who it was on, but it was whistled on Steve Ogunjimi.
Third foul, Ogunjimi.
Didn't see what he did, but it's his 3rd personal foul. And it'll be a Bullets ball from the side. There's a quick little well, still
he pulled his headband down over his. If you're going to wear a headband, that's an occupational hazard.
Here's Ogunjimi to Ellis. Back to Ogunjimi for 3 again. Steve Ogunjimi way off the mark. And Ogunjimi is 1 of 6 from behind the line. He's 0 of 3 inside the line. 1 of 9 in total. And the 3-point shooting is, you know, as a result of people like that shooting the ball.
Yeah, and deep threes are not going to get it done, and they just keep going deeper and deeper.
Nice pass from Bailey inside, laid in by Antonio Garcia. Donnie Johnson with the pull-up, and Donnie's starting to get a couple of points in a hurry here.
Yeah, that's a tough shot. Donnie's been taking it all game. This is the first one he's really gotten the drop with that little step-in, lean-in shot with a man in his face. Tough way to make a living, though.
Coben into Bailey. Bailey lobs into Danny Craven. Craven fires way too high. Ball comes out to Paternostro, fires up, and draws the foul along the way. Ooh, Tony Windless.
I'd like to see a replay of this one. kind of got shielded off there, but I thought he may have been planted. You know, I think he has both feet down. You know,
now, you see, I said that about that one earlier.
He was moving across him in transition last time, Daniel. That's clearly a charge.
Well, I thought they were both charges, so there you go. Tony Windlass certainly thought it was a charge, and there he is making his case to the official.
Nostro on the line, 2 shots.
Paternostro makes them both. Birmingham 69, Newcastle 63. One of these teams has 6 minutes left on the season. The winner has a date with the Leopards on Monday afternoon. But who is going to be which, Chris? As Ehlers knocks out the 3, who's winning the game?
I picked Newcastle. I'm not going to go back on it, but I don't see how at this moment in time unless they get a few more of those to go in.
It's down to 3. Paternostro. Bailey on the blocks. Flip round. Got to get the shot off. They get it to Atete. Atete with the head fake, and I thought he was going to run out of 24-second clock there, but he just got fouled in time.
He made a great cut to the basket, and Danny Craven did a great job of finding him.
Good head fake, drew the foul.
Yeah, that's a good job. Good consistent refereeing on both. You know, every time a guy's left his feet on the shooter and there's a little bit of contact, it's been a foul. Love to see it.
5.5 to go in the game. Birmingham leading by 3, have called a timeout. Let's hear it.
All right, Danny, listen up over here. Brant, we can't lose Ehlers, okay? You came out and guarded him the first time, great, and the second time you drifted all the way down the block, and there's no one down there. You got to stay up with him. Don't leave Ehlers. Don't leave him. No, these shooters, nothing for him out there. Cover it, contain the penetration early out. We're still trapping the corners. We got to rebound. Antonio's out another half a minute, then Antonio's in for Danny. You're out a minute. Okay, then we're coming back in. Make sure we rebound during this time. Rebound. We're running Carolina. You're low. Danny's high. Alternate back and forth. Amico's got the baseline.
Here's the scoring by quarter. Newcastle had that great first quarter despite the knock on the head to Tony Windlass. They've led by as many as 10. The Bullets have led by as many as 9 with 2 good middle quarters. But it's all about who wins this last quarter and who's in the lead at the end. The bookmakers fancied Newcastle by a point, which means they didn't fancy either team, so they just gave it to the highest seed.
And that's what I thought coming in. I thought it was a real pick-em game, and it's going to play out like that. You know, you asked me earlier. I'm going to go with Newcastle if it stays close because I still like their execution down the stretch.
Amico Atete knocks out the second free throw. The Bullets haven't won against a BBL team in a knockout competition this year. They had a Division I team in the first round of the Cup and then lost to Leicester in the quarterfinals. They didn't make it to the knockout stages, but they have the sort of pedigree players that can come through here.
Yeah, they're playing very well right now. They're doing the things they have to do. But we'll see how that plays out in the last 3 minutes. That'll be about nerve. Who holds their nerve?
Newcastle also got knocked out in the quarterfinals of the Cup, but of course went all the way to the trophy final as Donnie Johnson knocks one loose. The Eagles just a shot down here. Donnie penetrates, feeds to Tony Windlass, underneath, rebound Donnie Johnson, and there's a foul in there somewhere.
And the last few offenses we have seen Newcastle get into the gap, find their teammate, finish at the basket.
Danny Craven called for the foul. Number 2.
Nice interior passing, great bounce pass. And does a good job of going after it.
Ehlers to inbound. The lob, nearly picked off by Brant Bailey. It just had enough legs on it. Ellers to Ogun Jimmy. Walker. Johnson with the jump away short. He knew it was short. He went after it himself. Rebound, Tony Windless. Gets it to Donnie Johnson. Double dribble.
Yeah, you're only allowed one of those. just didn't see. They should have kicked it back out, reset. Tony Windless got the ball, tried to force something up, didn't have it, gave it to Johnson, who was standing next to him. And
here's another look. Donnie gets it there. Oh no, it wasn't a double dribble, was it? No, it wasn't.
It was not.
No, it was Windless who bounced the ball to him. That was a bad call.
My apologies there. I thought
it looked like it from here.
Yeah,
I must
it did.
say.
But the referee had a better view than we did.
That'll be a backcourt when Garcia touches it, and he does. And Tete just bounced it off his own foot.
There's a piece of natural justice for you.
4 minutes to go. The season on the line. The winners a place against the Leopards on Monday. The losers a nice summer holiday. Walker loses it as a Tete knocks it loose. Here come the Bullets. Garcia to a Tete with the jumper. No. Rebound Garcia though. Nobody boxing him out and he just sticks it back. It all comes from this defense.
They've been doing that all night, trapping well down in the corners. And Garcia is only his 4th offensive rebound, but it's a timely one.
Ellers with the jumper. They needed a score there, and he gets it. Tough one it was, too, for Brian Ellers.
Yeah, rising up. They're taking that shot. They're going to have those shots dropped for him.
Garcia, double team, trying to spin out of it, throws around to Paternoster. Coben, did he toe the line? No! Referee says that's 3. Coben was close to the line, but knocks out the 3. Very close to the line there. Good hands from him at the defensive end, though. 3 minutes to go in the game. The Birmingham Bullets leading the Newcastle Eagles by 6. Tony Garboletto has to do something about this lead. He's got 3 minutes to save his season. Let's go down and hear it.
Okay, hey, listen, we got Ian in for Steve. Okay, now, Ian White, Donnie Johnson stay here. TJ, Brian, Tony Windless, we're going 4 high. We make the pass to the wing. Donnie slide along the blocks. Ian come into here. Okay, try and keep the ball out of the floor. Skip past to Tony Windless. Okay, if you get that, let's X out into the post. Okay, move the ball. Hey, make big shots. Make things happen defensively. Okay, come on, stay with it now. Stay with it. Mental attitude, let's go.
Stay with it, mental attitude. It's all about the big game players right here.
Yeah, and he also changes tactics. He's going to try and throw 4 across the top and run some inside cuts to see if they can get something easy at the basket here.
Well, the Newcastle Eagles trail by 6. Could be conceived as 2 shots, but the way they've been shooting the 3, it's probably 3 shots. And the shot clock is running down. Does anybody see it? TJ Walker certainly doesn't. I don't think Windless does. Windless to Walker, gets it off in time and hits! What a shot from TJ Walker to have the lead!
I'm not so sure they recognize how much time was exactly on the clock.
It didn't matter though, because he knocked the shot out. That's the important thing. Garcia gets it to Coben. Coben with the head fake. Now he goes inside and back out again to Bailey. Bailey spinning to the basket, draws the foul. Who's it on? Because Ian White was in there and he's in foul trouble. No, it's on Donnie Johnson. And that's only his 2nd. No, it is on Ian White. Johnson put his hands up, but it was on Ian White, and Ian White has fouled out of the game.
Yeah, I saw the referee signal White right away. I couldn't really get a good look at the foul. I did see him reach in there, but I don't know if they were both reaching at the same time.
Bailey with the first. Here's another look. There's the spin from Bailey.
That's one of those.
Makes them both. Here's another look from a different angle, and it still looks like a harsh call on Ian White. Ellers to Johnson, good head fake, sent his man flying, then went inside. Great play from Donnie Johnson. Two minutes to go in the game. The season is on the line. It's a 3-point game. You still think Newcastle can do it?
Yeah, they're going to have to rebound real well out of this small zone. Last time they were small and they were in the zone, they got beat on the offensive glass. Big stop.
Time running out. Got to get us a shot off. Paternostro does, but misses. A 24-second violation. They get the stop they wanted. Now they need to score at the other end.
Yeah, they've been coming up with some, just individual efforts at the offensive end. Important thing there is they had a real good stand. Didn't need to worry about the offensive rebound because they forced the 24-second violation.
Walker. Hogan Jimmy attacking the basket. Poor shot, but Donnie Johnson's there to bail him out. Nowhere for Johnson to go. Finds Windless, but they do have a reset of the shot clock. Good hands from Paternostro to knock it loose, and the Bullets get it back. How costly will that turnover be? Paternostro through the middle to Coben for two. No, it rims out. Rebound, Brad Bailey. Knocked loose. Walker can't quite get to it, though. Paternostro does. We're into the final minute. 3 points in the game. Birmingham looking to run it down, but they do need to get a shot off, and they really do need a score as well.
Really banking on the stop here.
Are they going to get it off in time? They do. Bailey misses, though. Rebound, Donnie Johnson. Just about gets it to Windless. Newcastle must score here. They must score here. Ellers going to the basket, draws the foul. That's what you've got to do. When you need a score, take it to the hole.
That's why Brian Ellers is one of the smartest players in the league, in my estimation. He recognized he got to go to the basket. We can't sit and bomb away at this point.
Natural flow, Newcastle Eagles.
78, 75, 35 seconds left in one of these two teams' season. Newcastle Eagles have called a timeout. Let's go here, Tony Garboletto.
Okay, first of all, we're going X. Brian Ellers on the baseline here. Tony, Donnie, okay, Steve, TJ. Now listen, okay, Tony, fake, okay, and then hard to the basket. Look for the little pass in here. We want something going to the basket. If not, Donnie, you pop. Okay, Brian, reverse, Brian comes and gets the ball. Okay, we go to the basket, they're on 4 fouls. We've got to draw contact. Now, we're at man, okay? If we score 2 or 3, okay, we're straight up man to man. No foul. Okay, hey, if we miss, we foul on the first opportunity. Garcia. Okay, let's go.
Well, he was setting everything up there. It will be an end-line ball to the Newcastle Eagles. They need something going to the basket. That last foul was the 4th by the Bullets, so anything after this will be free throws. And don't forget, they do have the best foul shooter in the country on their team in Brian Ellers.
And they'll go to the offensive glass real hard as well. Look for him to run a play here for Brian Ellers coming in bounds for a 3.
It's Ellers to inbound. He gets it into Donnie Johnson. TJ Walker has it. Here comes Ellers round the screen, but they got there quick. Ellers trying to get it to Windless, just about did. Windless out to Johnson. Johnson to Windless. Walker to tie in. No, way too long. Garcia gets the ball. They couldn't foul him. Bailey out and running. Does he score? Yes, he does. Thought about taking some time, but took the points first. Hogan Jimmy for 3 must go. It doesn't. Garcia will run it down, and the Birmingham Bullets. No. Hogan Jimmy with the steal, but they're still not going to have enough time. Ellers for 3 doesn't go, and the Birmingham Bullets have won the first round game. They are going to the quarterfinals against the Leopards on Monday. And really, apart from the first quarter, they were the better team throughout.
Certainly, they sat in the zone. Newcastle never solved it. Shot selection let them down, and particularly down the stretch, the shot selection was terrible for the Newcastle Eagles.
Great game in the first half by Danny Craven, really strong, but the second half was all about Brant Bailey, wasn't it?
Exactly, and the size along the front lines really hurt. Ian White in foul trouble, had nothing to counter. When they sat in the zone, they got hurt on the boards until they could get Brant Bailey going.
Well, the Birmingham Bullets now set to take on the London Leopards. That's an intriguing matchup. We saw them only last week in the league.
It should be a great one. I mean, you know, league game last week, you know, somewhat meaningless. You know, they'll all be charged up, confidence after this win. You know, Leopards are going to have their hands full, no doubt.
The Birmingham Bullets are through to the quarterfinals of the playoffs.
And a Super Bowl game, the Birmingham Bullets, they stayed with it. They prevailed against the Newcastle Eagles by 5. He only had 4 points in the first half, but he's today's MVP. He's Brant Bailey, and he's with Suzanne.
Thanks very much, Kev. Well, the atmosphere down here, I think by the sounds of it, Brant, most of these fans here are Birmingham fans.
Yeah, I mean, that gives us a home court advantage. It's amazing. I love our fans. They travel all over, and it's great to see them out here in great numbers.
Now, Brant, just tell us what was going on in the first half, because you weren't quite awake, were you?
I think I slept in a little too late this morning. Yeah, I couldn't get anything to go in. I mean, my usually finger rolls are rolling out. It's hitting the front rim, but I knew second half I had to pick it up and come out strong, and I did.
Was that something to do with just how hard the Eagles worked on you, Brant? Because you only managed to take 7 shots in that first half, and only 2 of those fell. Was that something to do with the work they did?
Yes, for sure. They were coming out. They came out strong. They were doubling me right away. Put great pressure on us, making us shoot the 3-pointers, and they weren't going in, so that's why we were struggling right away.
I think we've got to recognize the fact that there was some good transition basketball from Eagles, wasn't there? Yes. Particularly early on.
Every time we turned the ball over, we gave them 2 points in transition. They were automatic, so we knew we had to cut down on turnovers and we'd be all right.
What were your feelings going into that locker room at the half? Because did the coach say anything to you that really, really inspired you in the second half? He must have done.
Yeah, we knew it was a tied game. And we had like 9 or 10 turnovers. So we knew if we tightened that up, it'd be our game to win.
Okay, now, how do you feel the next game? Tell me your thoughts on the Leopards going into this next game on Monday, this Monday.
Yeah, Monday for sure. We got 1 day off. We've beaten Leopards before at their place, and we know we're beatable. So I think we just got to come out and play our game, and we'll be fine. It'll be a great game, just like tonight.
It certainly shall be a good game. Listen, we look forward to that on Monday, of course, but in the meantime, you are the MVP. Congratulations, Brant. Thank you.
Hey, and we look at the highlights. Danny Cravens, who had 10 second-half points, draws the 3rd foul on White. A hustle here by Windless leads to a Walker steal. He draws the defense, lays it off to Johnson. It was even at 41s at the half. Brant Bailey, who had a torrid 3rd quarter with 18 points, gives the Bullets a 7-point lead. Johnson gets an and 1 to cut the Bullets' lead to 4. Cobbin hits a wide-open 3 to stall the Eagles' comeback 76-70 to the Bullets. 35 seconds to go and down 3. This is the best that Newcastle can come up with, so the Bullets win 80-75. Probably the big difference in the game, or was it the zone of Birmingham?
No question about it. I think that Chris mentioned in the commentary the whole time, if they didn't start figuring this thing out, they weren't going to get back in the game. And I don't think they ever did really figure it out. I thought they took tough shots all night long. The wrong guys took shots. They took a lot of 3-pointers. I don't think they did anything well against that zone. Birmingham wins.
Big game like this, over 50 3-pointers by 2 teams. Is that too many?
Way too many, especially when you're not knocking them down, Kev. Neither team was knocking them down, and you know, Nick alluded to it earlier. It was killing Newcastle, not only because they weren't making them, but it didn't allow them to probe where they were going to be able to solve the zone because they were settling for those easy, quick 3s.
Okay, with Suzanne, Paternostra, Cravens, both down there.
Thanks very much, Kev. Now, Rob, they have commented on you being a very busy little bee, but they also said, are you as busy as that on court as you are when you're asleep?
That's true. I have a lot of energy. You know, I love to play the game of basketball. Love to play in front of a crowd. Anytime we're on TV, it's fun. And man, it was just a great win today for us.
Now, Danny, we've been with you in the last 2 games in the regular season. hasn't been the best results for you, although you've played hard. That hasn't been the best preparation for you going into these playoffs, really, has it?
No, not really. We've lost most of all our games on Sky TV, so today we just got to come out and play tough. The crowd's cheering us on, and it's an important game. I mean, the league games are important, but we couldn't have gone much higher in the league, so today we just pulled it out.
Now, you've obviously tasted success with Manchester. Do you feel that this last year, do you feel this team can go all the way now you've got over this first hurdle?
This team can go through. They can go all the way. They can win it. They can lose it themselves. They can win it themselves. You know. So all they got to do is keep physical, keep confident, keep playing well as a team, which we did tonight. So that's all.
You certainly did. Now, Virgil, how much do you think the zone defense that you guys played in tonight hurt the Eagles?
Oh, it hurt a lot. We picked our defense up. We were helping each other out instead of playing one-on-one defense. We were helping each other out when somebody got beaten. We did an excellent job at that.
What were you expecting coming into this game? We just heard from Danny what he said about those preparations going in. What were you expecting?
I was expecting a great Newcastle team. Both times that we played them, they've come out and played really well. They're a real exciting team. They like to score. But, you know, we knew that if we played our game, we feel like we could beat anybody in the league. It's just we have to be more conscious of what we do, not what the other teams do. And, you know, I think we're going to be a good playoff team, and I'm really looking forward for us to go a long way.
Now, how do you feel about the Lepers next Monday? What's your thoughts on that game?
That's going to be another tough game. Our game's now going to be a tough game. It's a knockout thing, so like I say, if we just train hard tomorrow, get physically fit, get ready mentally as well, we'll beat them.
Virgo, what worries you or what concerns you most about the Leopards for Monday?
We're a very similar team. They like to run and shoot. We like to run and shoot. It's going to depend on turnovers and rebounds, the little things of the game, but it should be a very exciting game.
I'm sure it will be an exciting game. We're glad for you that you're into those playoffs. Wish you all the very best, and we'll see you Monday. Back to you, Kev.
Two young guys and a veteran of the game, but they get through Birmingham 80-75. I think one of the things that probably stands out for Birmingham for the game, Newcastle averaging 95 points a game. They hold them to 75, so they got to take something away with that.
Well, I think, they're fortunate. I'd like to talk to Lance, and maybe Suzanne can ask him if he went in there thinking that playing the 1-3-1 was going to do it. He came out man-to-man, got off to a horrendous start, said, shoot, we can't guard them. Let's play some zone, and they ended up doing the deal for him.
And you look at Newcastle, probably more than 1/3 of their shots come from the three-point line. Not good decisions, and most of them were 4-point shots, which you don't get extra points for.
Yeah, it's the only way they could create more offense was stepping out further, and they've got some great baseline players. They need to get the ball inside a bit more.
Birmingham 23 points off their bench to 5 for Newcastle. You get a big game like this, that makes a difference for the Newcastle bench. You got 5 points, a lot of fouls, very few rebounds.
Well, yeah, the big thing there, as you look at the leadometer there, as you see Birmingham take over from the second half on, but Newcastle didn't get anything off the bench, and they needed it because Winless went down and really wasn't a factor in the game.
Yes,
and that, we can't forget about that. That really hurt Newcastle today.
Looking at the scores, Graham Bailey outstanding in the second half with 22 second half points. TJ Walker very consistent for Newcastle. I thought Donnie Johnson, his shot selection, really hurt the Newcastle. And TJ Walker had 17 in the first half, so only 7 in the second half when they could have used some points from him.
Yeah, and they could have used some creativity from him as well, but a lot of the guys were taking tough early coverage shots. The other thing about this scores is nothing there from Williams, and that just shows you that they played a lot of big guys, and I think the size really won it in the zone and on the offense and defensive boards for them.
Okay, let's see what the winning coach has to say. He's down with Suzanne.
Yeah. Thanks very much, Kev. Unpredictable, is that the right word to describe this stage in the season?
Yeah, it's anything goes this time of year, and fortunately, things went the way we wanted them in this game, definitely.
Now, what did you have to say to the boys at halftime?
Well, we just talked. We were saying we were getting the right things. We just needed to handle the ball. We were getting good shots, just keep going at them, and we thought we could get them in some foul trouble, and we did. I don't know how big a deal that was, but we wanted to get to the free throw line. I think that was key down the stretch. We said just keep going at them and defensively cover the three-pointers. We had given Ellers some open looks in the first half, and he missed them. We said, hey, we can't count on that happening in the second. Make sure we don't let him loose on us. And Walker, we thought, would cool down a little bit, but just go out another step on him. But I thought we did a really nice job in the zone, and we kept going at him aggressively, offensively.
Brent Bailey woke up, didn't he? thankfully.
Yeah, Brant usually comes out and has good first halves, and sometimes for us he's disappeared a little bit down in the fourth quarter as teams have really picked up aggressively defensively, and they're trapping him, they're doubling him, they're keying on him because he's a great scorer. But tonight he really stepped up and got some big shots for us in the second half, scored on the break, finished really well, got to the basket, and got to the free throw line, which is what he does exceptionally well.
I think he scored 22 of his 26 points all in that second half. Now, Lance, it must have been on your mind. You've been so close in those last few games of the regular season, and just losing them in the last few minutes. What was causing that? What was the big problem?
I think it was that Sky was at 2 of those games. And no, we finally broke that jinx, and we'll talk about that another time. You know, I think we're a fragile team at times. We're so young, and we don't have that aggressive leader on the court that just steps up and says, dang it, we're going to win this game no matter what happens, because quite frankly, there's too many nice guys. Rob's probably the closest thing we got to a jerk on the team, but I mean that in a good way because I love him. He knows that. But he steps up and tells some guys, and Antonio and Virgin been stepping up his leadership. But it's been leadership by committee. I think we probably need someone who's a little more of a jerk or a hardline guy, not afraid to upset guys a little bit. But now this should give us a little confidence, I think.
Well, I think that's a confidence boost you needed, and we wish you all the very best for Monday against the Leopards. Well done, Lance. Thank you.
I just wonder how Rob feels about that. In a good way.
I've never been a jerk in a good way. Yeah.
For Birmingham, you take a team like them, struggle at home, but do well on the road. They're probably the only team with a winning record in the conferences that has a losing record at home, but wins their games on the road. But then the playoffs are all on the road.
Hey, offensive rebounds for me, they got a lot of size. They rebound offensively real well, leading with Garcia. You know, when you rebound offensively, you always have a chance, and you don't shoot the ball as well on the road traditionally, and I think that's the story.
And they have a tradition of Birmingham every other year getting to the final, but they usually lost the first game the year after they got to the final. Last year they got to the final, but this year they finally broke the jinx. Can this team, their next game is against the Leopards, how do you see them faring against that squad 2 days from now also?
Yeah, I think, again, I think they can beat them. They played them pretty competitively and really had the game last week, you know, and could have won the game. I think the venue favors them, as Chris mentioned. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think just like we've been saying all along, anything can really happen in these playoffs. I think the win today, a close one that they didn't screw up down the stretch, gives them more confidence. No question.
Speaking of that, yeah, down the stretch, yes.
And the other thing, Kevin, is don't forget, you know, Bob Dunwell's sitting over there, but he has the exact same amount of time to prepare for Birmingham now as Birmingham do for Leopards, even though they've had a little bit more of a break. But hey, the confidence, like I said, could play it big into their hands.
But then you say playing big into their hands. Leopards coming in, 5-game winning streak, 12 out of 14, but that 5-game winning streak was without Bob. Now you put a coach into the mix. Good, bad.
Well, I don't know. I don't think you ever want to fix anything.
Yeah,
you know, it ain't broke.
Sometimes ugly.
Yeah.
But also, you got some new players coming back into the fold too for the Leopards. So,
yeah.
You know, one of the things, like in the game that we have coming up later to this afternoon, Milton Keynes and Leicester. Mm-hmm. Now you've done this. You've played this role before of being a player coach.
Right.
Is it easier to be a player coach when you have to make decisions on the court, or to be a coach now where you're trying to get people to make the decisions that you like to have?
Well, I think one thing, first of all, Nigel Lloyd has got probably more experience in anybody in the first 2 rounds as a player or a coach, almost, other than Billy. Billy Mims has been through the playoffs, hasn't had a lot of success in the playoffs. So, and Nigel's certainly the most experienced player. He's been to Wembley and won it a few times. He's been to Wembley a great deal of times. I think Nigel plays the role so well, Coach. I think he, as a player, has always been a coach on the floor. His team knows exactly what they're doing right now. They're very good.
playoff basketball suits Nigel down to a T because things slow down to the half court like we saw today. The zone caused a half court game for both teams, but that's Nigel's at its best. He can control the tempo. He can pick his spots.
You know, Nigel has won it twice. He's been there 5 times, but how does he take that experience and relay it to a team where, I mean, Jason Seaman has been to a final, but, you know, no one else.
That's probably one of my only questions marks with Milton Keynes. I think Nigel certainly understands what it takes to get there. Do the rest of his guys? I'm not quite sure they do. I think today we're going to really testament to whether they believe, the rest of them, that, yeah, okay, we've had a nice year, we're Milton Keynes, we're going to go home now, or we had a nice year, we're good enough, man, we're as good as anybody here, we've beaten a lot of these teams, we're going through. I don't know. We'll see.
But then you flip that on the other side with Leicester. Billy Mims once in his 6 years as a coach. Carl Brown has gotten to a couple of finals. You have, has won one with the Towers, who won the final with. But then you have Malcolm Leak, who also won one with the Towers. So they have two players and a coach who has somewhat to feel. Does that make a difference for them?
I think it does, and I think Billy's comfortable in these one-off games. You know, he says he's been on a bit of a roll in knockout competitions this year, and I think he can get his team geared up for one game at a time.
One of the things good that you mentioned that one-off. Previously used to be best of three. Do you guys like this one-off for the playoffs, or would you have preferred to have been in the best of three?
I certainly always prefer to be in the best of three. I just feel confident enough in the game to game that I can make adjustments and fix whatever. If we got beat, we can fix what was broken. I just feel confident that way. And sometimes calling your timeout and trying to stop momentum and rearrange things at halftime and things like that, you can't quite get it done. But that's the way it is, man. And I think I've done well in both scenarios at this time of year, so we're going to go with what's there.
What about you, Chris?
I like the series, no doubt, Kev, because you play these games all through the season to create an advantage. You want the best advantage coming down the stretch. And, you have a bad day at the office shooting, and, you just don't have much of a chance sometimes. But I'll tell you what, I like this format better than last year's format.
Yep.
Last year's format was a nightmare. Everybody, didn't matter where you finished, had pretty much the same chance.
Is that because you guys went out first?
Heck yeah.
He complained all summer. That's how they changed it.
So quickly in this next one, but thanks again. Quickly in this next one, who do you like?
I'm taking Milton Keynes. I'm staying with the South.
I'm going with Leicester.
Okay, so thanks a lot, guys. Now, one down, one to go in round one, and that's coming up next on Sky Sports Extra in a couple of minutes. It's the much improved Milton Keynes Lions versus the National Cup winning side, Leicester Riders. Join us for that one.